guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bindi. And here on this channel, we practice flexibility of the mind, the body, and the spirit. Long time no see. Is my mic on? Yeah, okay. Long time no see. I had a baby. What? And now I'm back to make videos for you guys. But in my time away, so much has happened and I've grown and I've evolved, and life is just very different than it was last time that I made a video. I see different things for myself. I want different things for myself. But what remains the same is that I'm still obsessed with the law of attraction, and I still want to make videos about the law of attraction. But I want to make videos about other things too. So as I continue to bring you more content, I would need you guys to tell me what content you're into, what content you are not into, so that I can continue to give you valuable content. This content includes law of attraction content, which I already know you guys like, content about stepping into your femininity, because that is something that after giving birth, I am becoming more and more and more obsessed with. And the last topic that I want to bring to my YouTube is the topic of intentional living. So this includes intentional spending, which kind of is minimalism, as well as intentionally deciding, what you have for dinner, what you want to watch on TV, who you want to hang out with, being present enough to intentionally decide what your next steps are, because I do believe that that actually ties into law of attraction. But anyway, let me know if you want to hear about intentional living as well, and that'll help me figure out what my next videos are going to be about. Before we get into the video, I also want to remind you guys about the Manifestation Yoga Collective on Facebook. So the Manifestation Yoga Collective is a Facebook group that I have not been as active in as I would like, but just join it. Just hop on Facebook, join this group right here, because y'all have been holding it down in there, and please just wait for me. Just wait for me. I am planning on hosting yoga classes, as well as meditations, as well as just some Q&As specifically for the Facebook group. I want a more intimate setting for us to connect, and it's kind of easier to go live on Facebook than it is on YouTube. So if you would like to connect to the community in a more intimate way, baby, you know what I'm saying? I tripped over my words because I haven't said that in such a long time. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Go ahead and join the Facebook group and I will see you there. Okay, I had a baby. Now, if you've been on the channel for a while, you know that I actually have another baby. I have a 3-year-old. And my first birth experience was not the greatest. I was so traumatized that I thought I would never have any more kids. So I'm going to actually make that video public, if it's not public already, and put the video of my first birth experience in the description box. I'm not gonna watch it because I'm not gonna re-traumatize myself. But I like for it to be out there just so that people can be aware of different situations that can happen when you give birth in a hospital. I did give birth in a hospital the second time, but we are going to talk. We're just going to talk about it. So my first birth experience was traumatic, and it weighed on my heart for several years. And this second birth experience was a manifested dream. So I want to talk about what I did to prepare for giving birth, as well as what I actually ended up manifesting, the experience that I ended up manifesting, because it was wonderful. And then I would like to introduce you to Miss Olivia Harper. So the first thing that I would like to discuss as far as preparation for giving birth is my EFT tapping experience. So this is called the emotional freedom technique. And you've probably heard of it or seen it if you have been in the spiritual space for a while. And it's basically a service you can hire someone to do, or you can learn how to do it for yourself. One of my dearest friends paid for me to have a session with who she goes to for EFT tapping. And I had my experience a week before I gave birth. Now, I will say the week before I gave birth was when I started to have a lot of anxious thoughts about the experience. And this was because just my first experience was so difficult that as the date got closer for me to be induced, I started to have PTSD. Let's just be real about it. So my EFT experience was, I only had one appointment with Stina Pope. I hope I'm saying your name right. I adore you. Stina Pope. And in that one meeting, I was able to completely release any anxiety I had about the experience. We met for about an hour and we didn't even just talk about my birth experience. We spent 30 minutes on that, and then we spent 30 minutes on something completely different that was just weighing on my heart. So I'm going to put Stina's information at the bottom of the screen so that you can check out her website. I will also give you her email so that you can email her if you would like to make an appointment yourself. I'm not getting paid to shout her out. It was just an amazing experience. I plan on learning how to bring tapping to you guys as well, because I just was not aware that there was a technique that was so efficient and clean for dealing with trauma in a straightforward way. So yes, EFT tapping was one of the first ways I prepared for giving birth. One of the books that I read the last month of my pregnancy was Being Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. I'm horrible at book titles, but a big chunk of Being Supernatural is about the heart chakra and understanding what the heart chakra is, as well as a heart chakra based meditation. Y'all know how I feel about Joe Dispenza. You know how I feel about him. I love him. So a lot of what I was reading in this book was very different from how I have approached law of attraction in 2020. So I kind of became a tiny bit obsessed with these meditations. So I'm going to say for 2 months before I gave birth, every day I was meditating for an hour, focusing on the heart chakra. And I did have one experience. It may have been heartburn, but I'm just kidding. It wasn't heartburn. But I did have one experience where my heart, I convulsed during meditation. That's the only way I could put it. And it started in my rib cage. It was scary, but I didn't run away from it because I surrendered, but it was scary. Now, the reason that I bring up these hour-long heart-based meditations, let's start talking about the manifestation aspect of this. So my first birth was difficult because of my high blood pressure. I had high blood pressure, and though they didn't say I had preeclampsia, there were a lot of complications during the labor and during delivery and the week after with my son. So after I started these hour-long meditations, that's when my visits to the OB started to be like every 2 weeks, every 1 week, as opposed to like once a month. And maybe 4 weeks after I was meditating for an hour, 4 weeks, my blood pressure was lower and lower and lower every appointment. And before this point, my blood pressure was not as high as it was during my first experience giving birth. But they would say, okay, we're going to look at that. Okay, we're going to monitor it. It's not horrible. That's what they always would say. They would be like, it's not horrible. But after these meditations, I will never forget. My OB was looking at my blood pressure and she was just like, what? What? And then another time I went and my OB wasn't there, so I saw a different OB and she was like, are you sure you have hypertension? Are you sure you have high blood pressure? Because your blood pressure looks amazing. I have never been complimented for my blood pressure before. So yes, amazing things. So that also started to help me cultivate the vibration of this birth is going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I would like to just quickly say that my mental state I believe, was a big reason why my first birth was so chaotic, because my mental state was very chaotic. My first birth, I did not do yoga. I had just discovered law of attraction. You can go back and watch those videos. It's very obvious that I'm starting to understand concepts, but I have not embodied those concepts. So I was just very new to this entire world, and I had not applied what I was learning to my traumas and to all of the mental heaviness that I was experiencing at that time. So because of my mental trauma, I do believe that my mental trauma and my mental chaos at the time, I do believe that contributed a lot to the chaos of my first birth. So knowing that, I was already more confident in this second experience because I know that I'm in a completely different mental space as I was almost 4 years ago. Crazy. Okay, so let's talk about some more manifestation stuff. So you may have heard me say before that I was induced. I was induced because of my first labor experience. I have a Black OB, and I highly recommend that every Black woman who becomes pregnant does her research when she looks for an OB and tries her hardest to find a Black OB. I know that that's not possible depending on where you live. So please don't feel like I'm shaming you if you've tried and you couldn't find anyone, because I'm not saying that an OB of a different ethnicity will not look out for you. But my OB and I were at an appointment, and she was looking at when she wanted to schedule my induction, and she was like, oh, let's do it on this day, right in time for MLK Day. And then we both put our fists in the air, and I just felt really, really safe and at home. So I'm just saying, like, there are experiences that you can have with a Black OB that can make you feel really good. Also, a lot of our time was spent talking about the game and girlfriends, but she's just an angel human. I love my OB. But anyway, so the day of my induction came, and I was packed and I was ready, and I was looking forward to this day for 9 months. And I called the hospital because my OB was like, just in case, call. And they said, we have to put you on standby because our labor and delivery department is full. COVID has made the labor and delivery department smaller and has made the hospital more chaotic. They didn't tell me that, but I kind of just put puzzle pieces together, because when I finally did get to the hospital, they're like building a whole new wing for labor and delivery because of everything happening. Anyway, I was heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I will call back, because they were like, just keep calling and we'll call you. Just make sure that you have your phone on. We can call you in the middle of the night. We can call you in the morning. And you can call us for updates. But they weren't giving me an answer of when I was actually going to be able to get in there. And when you're given an induction date, just personally, I thought that that was going to be the day I was going to meet my baby. So depression tried to just like shovel in, but I talked to my girlfriends about it. I started a group chat, and they just helped me stay in the present moment. And eventually the next morning, after I got no phone call, I called the hospital, and they were just like, yeah, we're still full. And I was like, well, what's the longest I can be on standby? And they didn't give me a clear answer. They were like, well, we're going to try to get you in here by tomorrow morning, 2 days after my scheduled induction date. But they were like, we cannot assure that. We cannot commit to that. That's just what we're trying to do. If we don't get you in that day, we'll try to get you in the next day. And when she said that, I was like, I need to just detach from this expectation, because I can't control any of this. So that's just what I did. And literally I sent a text to my friends, and I was like, guys, I don't know when I'm going to be induced. I can't control this process. So I'm just going to pray, and I'm just going to be grateful that my baby's healthy, and be grateful for you guys, and just be happy in this moment, and just trust. And when I sent that text message, I got a phone call right after, and it was my OB. And she was like, okay, girl, this is what we're going to do. You're going to come into the office. You're going to come into my office, right? And she doesn't talk like this. But she was like, you're going to come into my office and I'm going to induce you in my office. So that way, when you get to the hospital, you'll already be in active labor so they can't turn you away. And I was just like, you are such a real one. I love that woman. I love her. So I manifested getting into the hospital. I also manifested my baby girl being born on January 11th, 1/11. I didn't even have the date in mind. I wasn't even thinking about that because I thought she was going to come January 10th. But that's cute. And so my daughter was born on January 11th and my son was born on June 11th. So they are exactly 6 months apart. Crazy, just wild. So I was induced around 9:30 in the morning and I went shopping to find a gift for my OB. And when I say shopping, I mean went into a storefront, found a gift and left. I didn't like go to the mall and go on a shopping spree or anything. But I went to get my OB a gift and then I went home and I watched Girlfriends for a few hours. And then my contractions started to get kind of intense. So around 6:30 p.m., I ended up back at the hospital. And long story short, I meditated. I meditated pretty intensely. And I meditated my way to 6 centimeters. And that's when I was like, okay, this is cute. I'm ready for that epidural. My first labor, I was determined, my ego, I was determined to have a natural birth, even though I did not prepare for a natural birth, even though I had no idea what true breath work was. I was just like, I'm gonna have a natural delivery. I'm not gonna need an epidural. So my first birth, I was stuck at 5 centimeters for like 4 or 5 hours. And I just remember how painful it was. I was just like, Lordy Lou, Lordy Lou. And then with this experience, I was just meditating and the woman who was monitoring me would check me every now and again and I was just meditating. So my OB comes in and she checks me and I was like, I want to try to get to like 6 centimeters before my epidural. So she checks me and she was like, you're there. And the contractions were getting pretty intense, but I did not expect to be at 6 centimeters already. So I was just like, praise his holy name. So got the epidural. An hour after the epidural, I was ready to push. I pushed for 3 minutes and my baby angel came into the world. 3. This is 6. 3 minutes, you guys. I pushed for 3 minutes. I have been saying the entire pregnancy that Olivia is going to cartwheel out and stick the landing. And what did my baby girl do? Just that. So, yes. 3 minutes. I pushed for 3 minutes and she was here. So, my baby girl was tested and checked and she has perfect health. They weren't concerned about anything. They placed her on my chest. When you guys watch the first video, I don't know how in depth I go about the experience, but I didn't get to hold AJ for more than 10 seconds before they took him away to figure out what was going on with his lungs. So this experience of having my baby immediately given to me, I remember thinking, oh my God, it's almost time for them to take her away. And then this voice was like, no, this is a different experience. That was the past. That was a different experience. And I just remember just relaxing and like holding her on my chest and she latched immediately. I didn't breastfeed AJ the way that I wanted to because he was in the NICU for a week. I personally feel like they overfed him. I feel like they overfeed babies when they're in the NICU, which can make it difficult for moms to keep up milk supply because of the separation and then how much they feed them from a bottle in the NICU. So that was something that had been on my heart for a really long time. Like, I want to breastfeed my baby. I don't want any complications. I just want to experience that connection with my child. And we had no problems. She latched immediately. Yeah, it was just perfect. Everything was perfect. The night before I had given birth to Olivia, when I was at home, when I was supposed to be in the hospital, but I was at home, I thought to myself, what is a reason that I could be home right now? And I realized that I had not scripted my ideal experience. So I would like to read to you what I did script and let you know that it turned out exactly the way I scripted. So I don't feel like moving. Babe. Okay, so this is what I scripted. It's long, so if you don't want to hear it, just fast forward. It's not that long. Okay. I am a calm woman at ease within herself and her wonderfully amazing life. Today I am receiving the most valuable gift of life for the second time. I am a great mother. I open my heart to my husband and my babies so that they know they always have a place of refuge. If you don't know, my scripting exercises are very dramatic. Okay, my family is my first priority and my most valued part of my life. Today I felt my body go to another universe, and I felt my soul retrieve my baby girl from the stars and the moon. As I look into her beautiful brown eyes, I feel no pain. My body is light as a feather, and my heart is as full as ever. Her body, full of life and possibility, derives nutrition from my own. My little angel, my little girl. My heart will not stop growing. With her father right beside me, I fully find myself present within the opportunity to love Olivia Harper Davis. It's 3 a.m. according to the clock, but I feel no concept of space and time. I just see her. The hospital room rotates around all of us as we... Oh my God, my script. As we realize that we have finally found each other again. I cry as I watch her father stroke her cheek. My family is complete. Welcome to the world, Olivia Harper Davis. Welcome to the fun. Welcome to the adventure. Welcome to the love. So I scripted that the night before, and I remember when I was done scripting that I just felt ready. That I was like, there's nothing else I can do. I have embodied the vibration of my birth. I will hold this vibration because that is my responsibility. But aside from that, there's nothing else I can do. And I'm grateful that I scripted the night before because it gave me a reference. Because trust me, if you've ever been traumatized before and then you're ever in a situation that can mirror the trauma, the brain will try to protect you and say, we need to be careful of this. We need to be careful of this. We need to think about this so that we can try to avoid it, right? So as I'm going into the hospital, as I'm having contractions, of course my brain is trying to say little things like all the way in the back. But it didn't last for long, and I was able to just throw it away and not emotionally react because I had an energetic vibrational reference to where I want it to be, and I have full belief in how the law of attraction works. And I know that if I focus on the vibration that I want to be in, that is the experience that I will have. And that was able to give me calm. And I was able to feel God the entire time. I felt God on my side the entire time that day. Not that God is never on your side. God is always on your side, but sometimes your thoughts cut God off, right? So I felt the presence all day, and yeah, it was just perfect. I couldn't have had a better birth experience. I literally could not have had a better birth experience. And I'm so grateful. I am done having kids, no more. But I am still so grateful for this experience. Gratitude. Okay, you guys want to meet my little pumpkin? My little tomato head? All right, I am ready for the baby. If she is not sleeping. Pumpkin pie. My pumpkin pie. Hi.
Still going at my neck.
Oh, are you still hungry? Okay. Well, this is Olivia Harper. And she's a perfect little angel baby. She's 3 weeks old. My daughter. My baby. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. She does this thing where she like sits with her hand on her brow like, what's going on? Life is so difficult. And it makes me laugh. Okay, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up so other people on YouTube know that it is valuable. Also, if you would like me to answer any questions, let me know down below in the comments and I will reference this question in a future video. Last but not least, please make sure that you are subscribed and that you click the notification bell so that you can be notified of future videos. I love you so much. I'm so happy to be back. I'll see you next time. Bye.